Hey players, what up? This is Ian from Baumann Beats, and today I'm going to show you a very simple way how to cut beats, how to slice beats, and how to extend and how to shorten beats in your audio software. Just very important for you to know in advance that you can do this with pretty any software that you will find, no matter if you use Logic or FL or Pro Tools or whatever. You just need a software where you can cut and copy and paste. That's basically all that you need. So I'm going to do this in Cubase, which is pretty similar to Studio One and Logic. And the very first step that I'm doing is to drag and drop the beat into my timeline, and I will also move it to the very beginning of my project so that it starts here without a gap. And now I'm just going to listen to the beat and wait what is going to happen. So this is basically the intro. Here you can notice the very first change. There is a bass and a drum coming in, so I'm going to zoom in a bit and you can visually see the change here. Let me listen to this transition one more time. So here you can see the very first drums are coming in. And what I'm going to do now is to set a cut point very close to the left side of this first drum. So let me take the scissor tool, zoom in very close and set a cut point right here. Zoom out and we can go on listening. This is basically still the intro. Here another change is pretty obvious. Let me see what's happening here. You could hear that the hi-hats are coming in. Let me listen again. Right here you can see it. Together with this drum, with this bass drum, the hi-hats are coming in. So obviously here is another transition to another passage of the beat, and I'm going to set another cut point right here. Let me put it again very close to the drum and zoom out, and we can proceed listening. So now we are going into the chorus of the beat. So what's happening? The snare disappeared, so here's obviously another change in that beat. The chorus finished and we are going like into a kind of a bridge. So let me find the right spot by listening again. Here it's happening. You can realize that the hi-hats disappear and the snare disappear beginning from this point of the beat. So I'm going to zoom in one more time and set a cut point very close to this drum. Let me check. All right, that's perfect. Okay, here the hi-hats come in again, so I'm going to set one more cut point in this position. Let me put it right here. Now we are in the middle of the verse of that beat. And now we have like a short break. And we are going back into the hook again. So what I got to do here, of course, I will set a cut point straight in front of the hook for sure. Maybe like here. It is, by the way, always a good idea to find cut points where the wave shape is somewhere close to 0. It is better to cut here than, for example, to cut here or here. So whenever I set a cut point, I'm going to watch for a point where my wave shape is crossing the 0 pretty close to the left of my drum. Okay, and what we got here is now a sliced beat. We have the intro, the second part of the intro, chorus, a bridge and a verse, ending with a break, and again we go into the chorus right here. So just one thing is still missing. What if you want to extend the verse, but you don't want to duplicate it? You just want to extend it for, let's say, 4 bars. Well, here we can help ourselves with a little tweak. We would just go into the beginning of our verse, and now we get to know how much 4 bars of this verse, and this we can just do by wrapping our vocals on that beat and stop where 4 bars finish. So for example, you could go ahead like this. Da, 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 da. That's the first bar. That's the second bar. That's my third bar. Da, 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 da. And that's the bar 4. Bam. And here is the end, or actually here is the beginning of bar number 5. So let me see what's going on at this place. Well, probably here we got a kick drum. Here is another loop starting, obviously, so I can set a cut point just right here. Again, I find a silent spot close to my drum, zoom out, and that's basically a 4-bar loop out of my verse. So let's check if this loop is working just by listening. Works like a charm, perfect. So now we got all that we need to work. As you can see, I didn't slice all of the beat until the end because it's basically the same again and again. So we got another hook here, another verse, and again the hook twice at the end. So I'm just going to move this pretty much to the right. And now what if I want to extend the verse? I just move this to the right. I make a copy with copy and paste of this passage. I attach it, and now it is very helpful if you can turn on magnetic events in your software. Otherwise, if you can't, it is still okay. You just zoom in very close and you move this very exactly next to each other. But luckily I have magnetic events, so I don't have to zoom in. I can just do this, and you can see that the events are snapping to each other. And so now I extended the verse by duplicating these 4 bars. So as you can see, my verse is now 16 bars instead of 12 bars. I can attach the rest, and now I have a longer verse right here. What if I want to duplicate the hook of my beat? No problem. I'm just gonna select everything which is behind the hook. I'm gonna move it to the right, make a copy of my hook right here, attach it, attach the rest, and that's it. Let's listen to the transition. Sounds perfect. So, and the last thing I could do is shorten my beat. What if I want to cut out a whole verse and a whole hook? Well, pretty simple. I know that here after the intro I'm going into the first hook, and I also know that here after this break I'm going into a hook. So I can basically just remove everything from before the hook until before the hook and attach the rest. Let's have a look. Sounds perfect. Alright, so this is a pretty simple way how to edit beats, how to extend and shorten beats, which you can do in almost any software. By the way, if you like the beat in that video, it is on my YouTube channel too. It's called Gifted. I will also create another video where I will show how to cut beats on the exact BPM count. Don't forget to subscribe and to like the video, and see you next time. Bye bye.